Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. In today's video I'll be playing through the May 2023 Qualifier Play-In Event. In this event we'll be playing Best of 1 Marching Machine Sealed and competing for entry into the Qualifier Weekend coming up next Saturday and Sunday. We'll be competing until we hit 6 wins or 2 losses, getting an escalating amount of gems as prizes along the way. I would prefer if these competitive events stuck to draft rather than sealed, but it is what it is. I'm ready to flip some coins and roll some dice, so without further ado, let's see what we get to play with today. Starting off, we'll take a look at our rares and mythics to see if there's anything super strong pushing us in a specific direction, but it looks like we've got a lot of powerful stuff all over the place in all different kinds of colors, so it is going to be somewhat dependent on the support we have in our commons and uncommons. The big stuff to focus on here, the strongest of our rares and mythics, are easily Boonbringer Valkyrie in white, Zephyr Singer in blue, Sheoldred in black as the #1 strongest ones. Then Invasion of Tarkir is still pretty strong, but kind of diminishing returns after there. Drawn and Linvala are solid, Goreclaw is solid, Brawl and Karizev are solid, and then SRAM doesn't really do much, but these four, especially these first three, are incredibly powerful, so we want to keep them in mind. They do some ridiculous things, even just on enter the battlefield effects with Sheoldred and Boonbringer Valkyrie, giving us value right when they hit the board, even if they immediately die, and all three of these, if they don't die, are just really large evasive threats. Sheoldred with that extra ability to really close out a late game, flipping into the true scriptures later on, so hopefully our blue, white, or black are particularly powerful, and we can roll with a couple of those rares. If our white and our black are good, we can have Valkyrie, Sheoldred, and Drawn and Linvala in the same deck, which would be sweet. But overall, all pretty solid rares, and we've got at least one in every color, so whatever ends up looking good for our individual colors is something we can probably roll with here. So let's check out our multicolored and colorless cards, see if there's anything else pushing us in a specific direction here. For dual lands, we have a black-white dual land, a red-white dual land, and a red-green dual land, so we'll keep that in mind. For multicolored cards, we have Sculpted Perfection, solid for a black-white deck. There are a lot of Phyrexians in the format. Invasion of Amonkhet, the highest win rate uncommon in the entire format. Really, really good stuff. Agar's fine. Invasion of Asgul's a pretty good battle. Stormclaw Rager's very good for the sack deck, Dina's whatever. Vatkeeper's very good value in green-black. Geoderm's fine for red-green if you have a lot of battles, and these red-white cards are both kind of more filler than our other gold cards. So our spiciest gold cards are Elvish Vatkeeper for green-black and Invasion of Amonkhet for blue-black. I think those are the best ones, but these red-black ones are also solid. The white-black one is solid, so kind of a little bit all over there. Most of them are overlapping with black though, so if we end up being a deck that's black in another color, we've got some pretty good multicolored stuff. Check out our colorless now, see if we got any mana fixing. Certainly didn't. That's 2 Phyrexian Archivist, which we're just not going to play. Very, very filler card. So the only mana fixing we have in colorless are the dual lands, so unless we have a lot of good green mana fixing, doesn't look like we're in a great position to play anything super multicolored. Start taking a look at all of our colors individually. White is looking quite powerful. Not the best curve ever, not a lot of 1s and 2s, but our secondary color could help make up for that. We do have decent 3-mana stuff with Sentinel and Phyrexian Censor. We've got Bolaslinger and Boonbringer Valkyrie being incredible backup cards late in the game, and Alabaster Host Intercessor being a really good card to help your deck run more smoothly, getting a land when you need it in the early game, and being a nice big late game play when you don't need that land. Not super excited about Surge of Salvation and Scroll Shift. This can stop like a removal spell. It's really good against black or red, but usually just 1 mana stop 1 removal spell. Kind of narrow. And then Scroll Shift is really narrow, whereas Cut Short is fine removal, and Triple Angelic Intervention are really good tricks during combat. So do like the look of the white quite a bit. We're a little low on removal, a little bit low on interaction, but we've got the really good Boonbringer Valkyrie, as well as some decent creatures on curve. So do like our white. Check out our blue now. Got that Zephyr Singer at the top end, of course. Negate's not looking super hot in here. Shapecraft could be okay, though. We've got some 1/1s and 2/2s to buff up and draw a card. I really like the Xerox Strobe Knight and the Preening Champion. The Skyclave Aerialist is also a premium card, and Cryptomancer is good at protecting our big spooky flyer. Inga Runize is a fine magic card. Furtive Analyst is not great, so we probably cut Negate and Analyst. So not a lot of blue cards. There's not a good quantity here, but we do have quality between all of these flyers. Could make a pretty nice maybe blue-white flyers deck or something. Moving on to our black, we don't have excellent removal because we don't have any Deadly Derision or any of the 6-mana Exile spell that's also really good, but we do have 2 Final Flourish, which are still pretty great. But that's it for removal. Don't love Traumatic Revelation, Failed Conversion. I guess Failed Conversion is technically removal as well. Don't love the Battle Fan unless we're really aggressive and getting into combat all the time. Yeah, Conversion's kind of slow. Oilcaster kind of slow. Doombringer's kind of slow. Freewheeler also a little slow, but overall, decent stuff out of black. We get our big Mega Bomb Shieldred, and we get 2 really good removal spells with Final Flourish. That's about it, though. Informant's like pretty good, Timuret's pretty good, Invasion of Eldraine's fine, but that's about it. Shieldred is the really big draw to black, and that's a pretty big reason to be in the color, so we definitely need to keep black in mind. Looking at our red, this looks like hot garbage. Yeah, there's an Invasion of Tarkir. Beatstick and Reinforcements are fine, but Burning Sun's Furies are really bad. Coming in hot is not very good either. Ren's Resolve is whatever. Depth Guard is super bad. And then our 2 other creatures, Prankster and Wartrain Slasher, are both also very filler. So our red, outside of having an Invasion of Tarkir, is pretty horrendous. So I think we're just off of red as a color. Checking out our green now, we've got the mega expensive Copper Host Crusher and Herd Beast probably getting cut. I do like the double Overgrown Pest, double War Historian on 3, and we've got a removal spell with Tandem Takedown. Not really a bomb though, just 1 Goreclaw, which is fine. We don't have that many big creatures to work with the Goreclaw unless I run the more filler ones like Herd Beast and Crusher, which are super filler. So not super duper into the green, but I do like that we have the double pest. That's super cool. The takedown is nice. There's some stuff going on here, but not super exciting stuff. I really like some combination of white, blue, and black. I think looked really good here. We'll take another look at our multicolored cards just to make sure there's nothing that super pushes us into red or into green, but I don't think any of these multicolored cards are really worth checking out that much. Yeah, probably white, black, or blue, black would be the places where we might run a multicolored card. So we could end up blue, white flyers, or we could be white, black, good stuff, or blue, black, good stuff. I think those are the places to be for this sealed pool. So here's a look at our blue-white deck. Looks like a pretty nice curve. We're definitely running some more filler cards in here to up that count up to 40. We've got like a negate in here. Not the greatest thing ever. I guess I'll probably run one of the hexproof tricks over a negate. Although I do like the ability to counter battles and stuff. No, I'll keep negate in here. I've already got triple angelic intervention to protect a creature from something, which I think is just a much better version of that hexproof trick. But yeah, there's some more filler stuff like a negate, double bond warden. But there's some things I like about those. I like getting the 1-drops out to really convoke Zephyr Stinger or Zephyr Singer early. SRAM is super filler in here. We don't have any auras, equipments, or vehicles, but still a 2-mana 2/2 on curve. And that's kind of what this deck is all about. Just sort of curving out with a lot of evasive creatures. A lot of flyers, Phyrexian Censor making our opponent's stuff come to play tapped. The really big draw to this archetype is that we're just going to slam down whatever creatures the first 3 turns, and then any games where we're hitting a Zephyr Singer or a Boonbringer Valkyrie are going to be super nasty, because we can just slap so much damage on the board later in the game, and it's super hard to block them. So really like the look of the blue-white deck. despite having to run some more filler cards earlier on the curve. I think the deck does look pretty dang powerful here, so pretty interested in that, but we'll also take a look at white-black and blue-black. Here's a look at our black-white deck now. I think this does look a little bit stronger than the blue-white deck, not by a lot. It has a little bit of a worse curve. That is the main thing making it worse than the blue-white deck, but it does have higher power bombs and a little bit more interaction overall, I think, that make it the favorite, at least for me. We have Sheoldred, Drana Linvala, and Boonbringer Valkyrie now. In black-white, for removal we have double Final Flourish, which are great, the Cut Short, which is fine, and the Failed Conversion, which is fine. But now we have a couple ways to use SRAM, which is kind of fun. Still running it as a filler 2-mana 2/2 on curve, but if we ever get to cast Failed Conversion or Bladed Battle Fan with SRAM on the board, then they just become very, very good deals. Battle Fan, basically like an Angelic Intervention, except this one maybe draws us a card with SRAM, and then Failed Conversion again, being kind of a weak sorcery speed removal spell, but if we have a SRAM on board, we also get to draw a card when we do it, which is really nice. Still have a decent curve of creatures, a lot of 2s and then 4s and ups, just a little low on the 3 drops, just a Sentinel and a Phyrexian Censor. But overall, still a lot of strong creatures, a lot of strong spells, and I do like how the black-white deck looks to be shaping up. Looks really consistent as well with a land cycler in each color, which is quite nice, and Unseal the Necropolis to be able to pick up some of our bombs and replay them later, like Boonbringer Valkyrie, Sheoldred, Drana Linvala. So a lot of things I like about the black-white deck, and I think that gets the edge over blue-white for me. But we've got to take a look at blue-black as well. Alright, so here's a look at a basic look at what the blue-black deck would look like. Again, I haven't like perfected the list yet, but this is around what it would be. And our blue, again, while it has some strong cards, is just so empty. There's so few of them that we end up having to run some really filler stuff to reach the 23 cards. All of our decks have a little bit of filler, but we've got like Negate and Shapecraft that I just don't think are the greatest for this deck here. And we have to run a little bit more filler black cards like an Etched Host Doombringer that's maybe good if we have Invasion of Amonkhet on board, but usually pretty filler. Some stuff like that. We get a Zephyr Singer and Sheoldred instead of Sheoldred, Boonbringer Valkyrie, and Drana Linvala. I think I just prefer the black-white deck the most out of these three, and I think these are really the places to be, because again, we can take a look at our red and green for one last check, but our red just looks really bad, and our green just doesn't look like it's quite up to par with our potential white, blue, and black colors. So again, here's a look at the red. Looks very bad to me. And then green. Got that Gore Claw. We've got a lot of creatures, some good value with pests. But just the one removal spell. I mean, black looked like our best color. The one that we're definitely running no matter what. So we'll take a look at green-black at least. I don't think we'll end up in green-white at all. But I don't think this is going to be better than our black-white deck without the Drana Linvala, the Boonbringer Valkyrie and stuff. Those are just a lot better than getting a Goreclaw and a Tandem Takedown, which is what our green gives us. Double Pest is good here. Like, this looks like a solid, consistent deck, but I think black-white is definitely where it's at in the sealed pool. One last look here before I completely make my mind up. This is a real deck. This might be the second best or third best deck. Not as bad as I thought. Green is actually pairing up well, decently well here. But no, I think that black-white deck is definitely where it's at. We get a cut short, so we still have a little bit of removal in white, just like we have a little bit of removal in green. And then we just have more powerful bombs. Boonbringer Valkyrie is just one of the best rares in the set, whereas Goreclaw is just a fine filler card. It's like a strong uncommon in terms of power level. We do get the double pest, but getting some really strong flyers in the black-white deck, and I'll stick to those. Alright, here's a look at our final deck list for today. We're going to be choosing black and white as the deck out of our sealed pool. just the strongest two colors together, making the strongest deck that we can. Nice little black-white mid-range deck, as pretty much every sealed pool is just going to be a mid-rangey collection of your best cards in both colors. There are a few kind of narrow synergy-driven things going on in this deck, but for the most part, just a solid curve of the best cards in the sealed pool. The massive bombs bringing us into the color pair are the Boonbringer Valkyrie, the Sheoldred, and the Drana and Linvala, but this color pair is also one of our best color pairs in terms of removal, with Cut Short, Double Flourish, and Failed Conversion, and some good interaction with two combat tricks between Angelic Intervention and Bladed Battle Fan, some good graveyard recursion with Unseal the Necropolis to be able to recast some of these bombs or help dig to find them, and our one main cute little synergy thing that we might be trying to do is SRAM, mainly as a filler 2-mana 2/2, but if we have a Bladed Battle Fan with SRAM, we'll draw a card when we play that. If we have a Failed Conversion, we'll also draw a card when we cast that. So that's a look at our deck list for today. Looks like a pretty solid one. I'm not unhappy to have this in the competitive event like this. I think this is pretty solid, probably about 3-3 or 4-3 on average, so fingers crossed, maybe we just draw the bombs a whole lot, make it all the way into a 6-win run. I guess we do get kicked out of the event after just 2 losses instead of 3, so gonna be some fierce competition here. We can't get any bad matchups out of the way early, or we'll just be out of the events immediately. So fingers crossed here, gonna play the best I can, try to draw the best cards that I can. We'll see how it does as we head into the gameplay. Here we are for game 1 with our opponent on the play. We'll keep this. We have both of our colors and multiple castable spells off these 2 lands. Our opponent is going to start off with a turn 2 Dreg Recycler from their black-red deck. Don't have any knights to play anytime soon, so Cavalier's just going to trade off into something. I think I'd rather just drop Sanctifier for now. Gain some life as we trade away. Well, Invasion of Tarkir, quite good here. The removal spell for Sanctifier, and they can immediately start hitting that, trying to flip it into a dragon that can start shooting any target for 2 damage every time it attacks. Sigil Sentinel is the draw, so now we have a turn 3 knight for the Cavalier. A bit too late here. The Censor hurts us pretty badly right now. Got a bunch of non-Phyrexians in hand. Let's drop the Sentinel. Definitely got to go for a 3-drop here, stay mana efficient. Play something big enough to block Recycler without dying as well. Play the Sentinel. Alright, let's get Bladed Battle Fan or something. Yep. This is significantly better than letting them have a 4/4 dragon. Okay, there's the 4th mana for us. What would I like to trade into this Recycler? I think I'm gonna go for trading the Incubate token from Gift of Completion into the Recycler. Since that's the only creature that I can play here that gets around sorcery speed removal, I don't like the idea of sorcery speed removal being able to let them immediately flip this invasion. Now it has to be an instant to flip it. And then this will also let me Surveil when it dies to try to hit the 5th land for Veiled Conversion. If they do manage to flip the invasion, and they do manage to flip it, so there is the 5th land. We keep that. We're going to Failed Conversion the dragon. But that's still some really great work they got done with the battle. They got to get rid of 2 of our cards. They killed our 2-mana 2/2, forced us into a lot of blocks there to get their removal spells and combat tricks going, and forced us to use a removal spell on the Thundermaw after it flipped. So, really good 2 or 3 for 1 kind of thing there. The Surveil from our Failed Conversion could help us out a lot here, though, being able to mill 2 more lands when we're at 5 mana already. Definitely didn't need to draw those, so that could be pretty helpful. Make up for the disparity in card advantage here. Alright, we've got a Final Flourish for a -2/-2. I've got an Unseal the Necropolis, but nothing great to bring back yet. I think I'll play the Sensor. And probably Final Flourish one of these. I guess they're both just 3/2s, which isn't that great. This is kind of awkward because I already cast the Sensor. I should have played Cavalier first and then Sensor and then just traded my 2 creatures off instead of my removal spell since I have Unsealed to get more creatures later. Yeah, that's super awkward. I'll still just play Cavalier, but I should have played that pre-Sensor. Should have realized with Unseal in hand I was going to end up wanting to just hold the removal and just trade any creatures off here aggressively. Let's Surveil 1, another land, get that out of here. Get that out of my life. Drana and Linvala, let's go. Steal their activated ability and have a 4 toughness creature they can't get through. They're not a knight, so I won't give the Cavalier... well, it's not Vigilance, it's First Strike anyway, but yeah, I won't trigger the Cavalier, so play them post-combat. They can't attack in without a trick here. So they are not going to attack in. Let's go. Boonbringer Valkyrie off the top now. Just go absolutely wild. Completely turn this game around. All that surveilling really helped us out here. Because we surveilled like 4 cards into our grave. Well, we surveilled 3 into the grave. 1 of them we kept on top. So we surveilled 4 times to help dig here, which is really nice. And they are going to scoop them up, can't deal with Drawn and Linvala plus Boonbringer Valkyrie, so pretty big comeback there. After being able to kill the flipped dragon, that could have been a big problem. So we're going to start off 1-0 in the Qualifier Play-In Event. Here we are for Game 2 on the play. Very slow hand, but I think with Drawn and Linvala and Shieldred in it, it's keepable. We ideally need to draw into something early game or another Plains. But it shouldn't be hard to hit one of those 2 things. So they're going to start off with an Ichor Drinker, which is a really good start here because it's a cheap creature that's going to chip in for a lot, and I won't want to Final Flourish that. I'm okay to Final Flourish the Recycler to give us more time to draw into the lands we need to close out the game with these really high impact plays. Okay. We know we'll have a 4th mana to play Freewheeler if nothing else, but I need another Plains to cast Drawn and Linvala. There's a Gift of Completion from our opponent. They get to Surveil as their Phyrexians die now. Okay, we do not get Plains, so we'll drop the Freewheeler. That'll fill graveyards for Shieldred to be closer to flipping. Does also mill Boonbringer Valkyrie, but that's okay because I did not have a second Plains and I wasn't going to draw it for a while, it looks like. Ooh, we milled their Sunfall. I'm pretty happy to see that. Alright, we're even. Milled my Valkyrie, milled their Sunfall. Fair enough. Nice even exchange. They have 4 cards in grave. If I trade here, they have 5, maybe 6 if they choose to mill themselves. If I flip this card for 5 mana, I get a 2-drop back. I get a Cavalier or a Cavalier or a Dreg Recycler. I guess I could get a land. I could get a Plains back if I draw another Swamp. There are no Plains in either graveyard somehow, even though we're both white decks. Okay, so that's probably not going to happen. Actually, don't think I'm that excited about Freewheeler then. If I hit the 5th mana, I'm just going to play Shieldred or Failed Conversion anyway. Let's actually just trade in. That seems fine. They're going to use a protection spell on that? Fair enough. Cool with that. Well, now I've got a SRAM to go with this Failed Conversion. If I play SRAM now, then I draw land next turn, I conversion that and draw a card. Alternatively, I can put them down to 1 card in hand with Invasion of Eldraine. Probably all valuable stuff in their hand. But I do kind of want to keep playing creatures, stuff that impacts the board so I can block Ichor Drinker, but all that SRAM does is block the Drinker. It doesn't block the 4/4 either. Let's actually go for Invasion here. Not in love with it. But it's probably not the worst because SRAM doesn't really help me block too much. I already have card advantage even if I don't draw a card off Failed Conversion. Heliod, no enchantments in their grave though. Another non-land card. It's another white card too, so I can't even cast both of these in one turn. It's a super bad draw for us. Take 8, go to 5 now. Come on, planes. We are on an 8-8 split. That's an excellent top deck. Find the removal for SRAM. Now they can just turn Ichor Drinker into a 2-2 as well. They can immediately flip this invasion to have a good equipment that's going to buff all the creatures of the same type every time they attack. So buff all their Phyrexians every turn. Why don't they just put it on Heliod and keep making Heliod bigger? That works too. Okay, there's land 5. We've got a little bit of a shot. Not a massive one. But a little bit of a shot now. Not a plane still, which is awkward. We are on even numbers of white and black sources because we have double white and double black cards. We've got one dual land that helps. So this forces them to sack Heliod. Then they equip the Frazzle Cannon to the Phyrexian, which means it attacks as a 5-5, and Sheoldred can't block it, and failed conversion won't be enough to kill it. Do I even just failed conversion the 4-4 now then? Because if Heliod gets bigger, that's fine. We can make them sack Heliod with Sheoldred if they draw dead for one turn. They can flip this Incubator and hit us for 5, 6, 7. Then we play Sheoldred, kill Heliod, and block the Incubator. That's probably a better bet than just playing Sheoldred, because again, if I play Sheoldred, Heliod's gone, but then they attack with a 5-5 and a 3-3, I can kill the 3-3, take 5, go to 4, then I have nothing to block the 5-5 with anymore. I guess failed conversion does make it small enough. But they keep buffing each other. It's a rock and a hard place here. Both of these are just not great for us. Go for the conversion first. We get to surveil here by doing this. I guess they get to surveil as well. There's the planes. I'm thinking Foreman's going to do it for us. See what they drew into. If anything, yeah, take the 7 down to 2. Oh my god, they top decked Luris? Are you serious? Now they can just recast Cavalier or Dreg Recycler? Well, don't know what to say about this game then. We kind of just drew much worse than our opponent. Yeah, I mean, I can't do anything about that. We're just dead. Just dead no matter what I play. Alright, well, awkward draws there. We missed on land 5 for far too long and couldn't find the second planes for Dronalyn Vala till it was too late as well. Unfortunate one. We'll be 1-1 heading into game 3. Here we are for game 3. We have an Azumi Informant to play on turn 2. Need to hit lands, get up to 4-5 mana, but we have a Flourish for interaction. We are on the draw here. We'll keep it. Scoured Barrens is our first draw, which is an excellent one. Now we have double white or double black. Fortune's Tracker will start things off for our opponent. Decently interested in just slowing them down for now and killing the Mana Dork. 2 mana Stone Rain. Let's go. Alright, they've hit all I was going to say they've hit all 3 colors, but we don't know how many colors they're playing. They could be more than 3. But 3 colors turn 3 seems good. Nothing to do with SRAM here, but SRAM can trade with Blade Master if they don't pump it, but all they have to do is play a basic to threaten to pump it, and I can't block well anyway. Yeah, let's go Informant over SRAM. I guess SRAM could be a 3-3 if I put the counter from Bola Slinger on it, but I'm pretty cool to just put Slinger's counter onto itself next turn if I have nothing else to do turn 4. Alright, Inga Rune Eyes, Scry 3. Nezumi Freewheeler's the draw. Well, let's just mill whatever they scried then. Get that out of here. They did 2 on top, 1 on bottom, I think. Ooh, we milled double Eyes of Gataxius. It's pretty sweet. Send in both. No idea what's going on here, but we have a Valkyrie in hand if we hit 1 more land, so I'm just going to take it. They might just have some kind of little removal spell or something. They want to trade Rune Eyes off and kill Informant to draw a card. Okay, well, there is the 5th land. Cycle the Intercessor for it. I've got a 5/5 Phyrexian now, though that's a problem. Maybe we're getting the 5th land and then unsealing to pick up an Intercessor to deal with the Phyrexian token later. That seems reasonable. And probably should have just sent in Freewheeler. I don't think I'm blocking with it, but maybe I can at least threaten to block with it and it'll keep something off me. Atris is an excellent card and a great draw here. And Pyrulia are 2 lands here. They're both pretty equal. Take the 2 lands, fair enough. Transform the token. No, they still send Inga in. I guess they're just not trying to get the draw 3. I still don't like not being able to counter up the Freewheeler, but taking 8 here is a lot of damage, so maybe I chump with Informant at this point, take 3 to 11. Seems fine. Let's unseal first and see if I hit something better. Nope. Guess I should have unsealed second. The idea there was I could hit like a Sheoldred or something, and maybe I'd want to play something other than Valkyrie here, and then I'd be okay with the Freewheeler trade. Obviously, if I hit 0 creatures, it works worse than just trumping and then necropolizing. I think we're on chump. Don't even hit the land for Intercessor. Alright. We're taking a lot of damage, but potentially gaining a lot of life now. Ooh, no attack with the Phyrexian. If I hit a land, I clear that out, and then Valkyrie attacks in anyway. Herbology Instructor can give something -3/-3 when it flips, which isn't enough to kill anything. Well, +3/-3, I think. No, -0/-3. I didn't remember exactly how that one worked. The main thing is the minus the toughness. It looks like that is the only thing. Iridescent Blade Master is the final card, and that is not land 6. Bladed Battlefan is a good draw here, though. Especially with SRAM. We go SRAM, attack in Battlefan if they block. Excellent. Ooh, and there's the land. Okay, that ended up beautiful. I guess that was better than drawing a land. Thank you, Magic. Very cool. So now they flip the Instructor and kill SRAM. I think I play Aetherblade Agent, even though they could kill Aetherblade Agent with Instructor instead. Just stay mana efficient. They can only kill one of the two. This way I still have a blocker left. Outside of the freewheeler. We are up to 17 life, though, so it probably doesn't matter too much. Yeah, maybe I should have just waited on the Aetherblade Agent. I'll trade SRAM into 4/4. Already milled my failed conversion, right? Yeah, I have no more artifacts or enchantments. So I'll trade SRAM into Atris. Okay, I guess it played out alright, because then we had a block there where we wouldn't have otherwise. Can flip Freewheeler, because I don't think Boluslinger or Intercessor are necessary right now, and with Freewheeler I can pick up... I could just pick up SRAM. I think I'd rather pick up Informant, make them discard their last card, or Aetherblade Agent. Or Gift of Completion. A lot of really good options. 6 mana to flip. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I could pick up their Invasion of Pyrulia as well. If I flip their battle, I think it does come under my control because the way that battles work. Exile it, then cast it transformed. So I cast it transformed. I think I take this. Oh my god. Shieldred's a double-faced card, so we just draw Shieldred, then we have drawn Linvala after, then Sigiled Sentinel. So they chump or I cast the 4/4. We do have first strike here. Even if they had enough power to kill Valkyrie. Which they don't. Alright, they go ahead and chump. We'll pass the turn. 22 life to 25 now. We've gained a lot off this Boonbringer Valkyrie. Hit it, Sugu and Kairi. That is quite the draw. Brainstorms them, and then when it dies, they get to make me lose life equal to the mana cost of the top card of their library, and they get to cast it for free. Drawn in Linvala only steals activated abilities. Oh, they're just going to scoop up. I was going to go for Intercessor, exiling Hidetsugu and Kairi so it doesn't trigger, and then flip the battle, and then still have a Shieldred for later. But they're over it. They're just going to scoop it up there. Maybe they just saw the Intercessor and they were like, oh, that's right. Maybe something like that. Or something came up in life and they had to go for something. Either way, 2-1, meaning that the worst case scenario today, we're going to have a nice 50-50 win rate in this competitive event. But hopefully we can win some more games. If we get to 4 wins, that is when we're in the money. It does cost 4,000 gems to play in the event. So if we can get 2 more wins, we're up in value. And obviously the dream is getting the 6 wins to play the qualifier weekend next Saturday and Sunday. But no matter what, not a bad run. 2-2 or better. Heading into round 4, 2-1. This is a pretty glacially slow hand, and there's not much payoff for it. It's just removal. I think I mulligan this. The hand is basically 3 Swamp of Plains and these 3 spells. The Eldraine, Conversion, and Cut Short, which is just not good. Okay, this is better. Probably get rid of Failed Conversion. Because if I make it to 5 mana, I'm just going to play Valkyrie first anyway. If I don't make it to 5 mana, then it's obviously pretty terrible to have extra 5 drops in the hand. Battle Fan is not a bad draw. Pretty good with Sanctifier. We can have Sanctifier win a combat. Stick around as a 3-power lifelinker. Alright, Alabaster Host Sanctifier versus Alabaster Host Sanctifier. They're on the play though, so they're going to start gaining life first. Alright, let's hold up a bladed battle fan in case some weird nonsense happens and then attack with our Sanctifier. That's some weird nonsense. They're gonna hate how this plays for them. They're like, ooh, free kill off my rare. No. I get the free kill on your rare. Put it in the garbage. I don't want to see it. Thank you very much. Uh-oh. Invasion of Segovia with the ability to immediately hit it for 2. This thing flips, it's a complete nightmare, giving their entire non-creature hand Convoke, and untapping 4 creatures a turn, basically giving 4 of their creatures vigilance, and the ability to be mana dorks that untap themselves. So Invasion of Segovia is really, really nasty. Gotta play some good blockers to protect that. I think I just go for the Censor here over Cavalier Hold Up Flourish. Because that could also counter it if they cast another spell to try to flip it, and then they attack it. Then that would be the second spell they cast this turn, which means they won't be allowed to cast it. If their first spell is a removal spell on the Censor, then they're free to do whatever. And that'll play really badly for us. But still the best I've got here with this hand. This is going to be a Temporal Cleansing on Censor. Yeah. Put it back into our library. We'll put it on the bottom here. They can cast another spell this turn now, so we'll trade Sanctifiers. Because they could cast that if they flip it. And they'll play a Cavalier of their own. Do not find the Boonbringer Valkyrie mana. Do have the mana to play Cavalier, holding up Flourish, or Cut Short here. Might look a little suspicious that I'm not putting the Battle Fan onto Cavalier, but there's not really a point. Anyway, a 4-1 and a 3-1 are pretty much identical on this board state. I don't think it's the most suspicious thing ever. Preening Champion. Big yikes. Now they have a 2-2 flyer and 5,000 1/1s to clear that invasion out. Pretty much definitely gonna flip it here. I could trade Cavalier into a 1-1 and cut short their Cavalier, and then the invasion doesn't flip this turn. But I feel like it's probably better to just Final Flourish the Cadus, sacking the Battle Fan. That is another non-land draw. I don't think I should be playing 18 lands with this deck. I think we're just not finding land 5 a lot. Is there anything I can even recast after doing this? No, I don't have any 1-drops in this deck, so I don't even cast this right now. I just hold up Cut Short and pass. Cut short the flyer here or just unseal? I think I'd rather unseal, so if I don't hit the land I have stuff to do next turn. Guaranteed. That is pretty bad. 4/4 vigilance now. Can't cut that. Captive Weird, more card draw for them. That's a 3/3 vigilance because of Phyrexian Awakening. It's another creature I can't cut down. Land 5, let's go. Alright. They are out of cards, so theoretically a 5/5 flying first strike is the best card on board. So they have to top deck well. Either naturally off the top or whatever they hit off of Captive Weird has to be good. Otherwise, this is where we start stabilizing and trying to bring things back with Valkyrie. I think that's 100% the play, is just drop down the Valkyrie. I could wait a turn so I can put the counter on Cavalier and get one really good attack out with it, but I think we won a 5-5 first striker against a 4-4 anyway, so... Alright, please miss some draw steps now. Okay, flip the weird. The weird finds an island. They drew a Seraph. Okay, they didn't miss, but they didn't find a way to deal with Valkyrie, so we're fine. 6 mana, 4 mana for these, and I can still cut short off Convoke. I mean, they get in with the 4-4 Vigilance, but send Valkyrie in here. I guess when this is flipped, it also has Vigilance, which is really bad. Cut short looking pretty terrible in this matchup. Really just against their Phyrexian Awakening, where it's a huge problem. Send in the Vigilance squad here. So they hit for 7 a turn with their Vigilance stuff. I guess they can sack all these 1/1s. Yeah, this Seraph of New Capenna was such a live draw for them. Oh. I mean, it wouldn't be bad if it didn't have Vigilance. It's the fact that they have it with Phyrexian Awakening. That our cut short just doesn't do anything. Ooh, Alabaster Host Intercessor. Now they have to kill Intercessor and Valkyrie. Alright, no chump. I would have loved to see a chump there. So I could exile the 4-4 instead. That would have been super sweet. Alright. Well, there goes Valkyrie. They are now outracing us handily. I guess I'm... No, I'm not, because this thing has freaking Vigilance. Vigilance is just the bane of our deck. Oh my god. Angelic Intervention? Talk about a live draw. Holy lord. Protection from white? They're dead in 2 attacks now. They have to just immediately top deck another removal spell for Valkyrie? Mr. Moneybags over here with the giant Luxac top deck in the end. Oh my god, I was certain that game was over. I didn't even remember we had an Angelic Intervention in there. But our one Angelic Intervention that we're running to save the Baneslayer from the pacifism and just slam in for lethal in 2 swings because it gets a +1/+1 counter as well. That was a disgustingly good final draw for us that game. That definitely makes up for missing a few of the land draws earlier in the game for getting the 5-drop out early, so... Alright, we're doing it. We're 3-1 now, heading into round number 5. Here we are on the play for game number 5. We have a double white card in our hand with no planes. I feel like I'm playing best of 3 with how bad our mana draws have been today. But I think I have to mulligan this, just an Informant and a Completion to start it off until we hit 2 planes to get to Linvala. It's just a lot. Basically already mulligan to 6 here. Because we could just put this on bottom, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna take the mulligan. Wow, yeah. I mean... I don't know what I'm supposed to do about these opening hands. I guess we keep this one because we have Sheoldred on 5. But these are just abysmal today. Alright, Aetherblade Agent is a good starting draw. Playing against Rakdos here. There's the Furnace Gremlin. I don't really have anything else to do with my mana, so I'll trade a Bladed Battle Fan into the Gremlin. Alright, here we go. Fingers crossed. Land? No. We've drawn 0 lands this game, just the 3 in our opener. So we can't flip the agents, so we can't attack into the 1/1. Unless I final flourish it, so we just pass the turn. Vanquish the weak. Yeah, I can't stop that. Here comes the 1/1. I'll take my 1 damage. We'll go ahead and flourish there. Aetherblade Agent. There we go. Plains is beautiful. We get to play a Sentinel and make it a 4/3 Vigilance with the Battle Fan. Pass the turn from there. Skittering Surveyor from our opponent. Grabs the Plains for them. We find a Gift of Completion. Hold up on Seal for now when I get the attack in. Alright, hit for 4, drop the Gift of Completion and pass. Unfortunately, Skittering Surveyor is an excellent card for them to sacrifice to Shieldred, since Shieldred makes them sack a non-token. Oh my god, they just hit 4 colors here? The island naturally? Invasion of Tulvata, return a non-battle permanents. Okay, none of those really matter that much. But if they flip this, it's going to win the game. Slowly but surely, it's going to keep giving them 2/1 flyers with lifelink. That actually wins the game not that slowly. That's a really good flip side to that battle. Final Flourish is our draw. Flourish the Death Toucher here so I can keep getting him a Sentinel. Seems okay. Could also hold off on the Flourish to try to protect Invasion of Tulvata from them. But how would they flip it here? They buff one of their Surveyors or 1/1s a lot? I don't even know what that would be out of a 4-color deck. Yeah, I think I just stay aggressive here. Honestly, I feel like the most likely way for them to flip this invasion is they just shoot it for 6 damage with some kind of spell. If it flips, we're a goner. We're out of here. So I should be protecting it as much as I can, but I don't foresee them managing to flip it with combat damage right now. Out of nowhere. It would just be they just shoot it for 6 damage with the 6 damage spell. Yeah. Alright. Well, we probably lost then. I can play a Shieldred, but their whole board is going to have +1/+0 lifelink, and they're going to get another flyer every turn. And I can't play a Shieldred, because I don't have a 5th mana. Great, yeah, now they double block Sentinel and gain 4 to be at 17 life, and make a 2/1 lifelink in their end step. Okay, double block the Sentinel to gain 4. And kill it. Unseal could hit one of our land cyclers, but I couldn't even play it this turn anyway, because I won't have the 2 mana up. I'd rather just inform it. It's big enough to trade 1 for 1 into the 1/1 they get off of the Broken Sky. Alright, they've got 1 more card in their hand. But it's probably a non-land. Draw off the top. So Flywheel Racer. And that's it, okay. Well, there's the Swamp Cycler. Guess what we're doing this turn? Swamp Cycle into Unseal. Let them have the trade for Informant. If they want. Oh yeah, they can just crew the Racer. But then I can pick up an Informant with Unseal if I want to. They probably still trade into the 4-3 here with Flywheel. But I guess they could keep Flywheel on board by killing Informant. Up to them. Okay, they're gonna kill Informant. Pretty gigantic draw. Slam in with a 5-5 haste and a 2-1 lifelinker. Shieldred's just going to kill the Flywheel Racer. It's not even going to kill the Charger because they can crew Racer in response. Five mana. 2 land draws away from recasting the Gloomfang Mauler. I milled no creatures here. I guess I'm just taking Informant and Sentinel, most likely. I can play both of those in the same turn later. Could also go Death Toucher Sentinel would be fine. They're probably going to run out their hand every turn. Let's grab Agent and Sentinel. There's a Phyrexian Sensor, does not help too much. I guess it makes their 2-1 flyers come into play tapped. And they've got more than 8 cards in grave. I could flip this thing. That's still not even going to win the True Scriptures here. Unless I can get all 3 modes off of it. Alright, here's Shieldred. Kill Flywheel Racer, I guess. Exile this, I get to destroy their 5-5 next turn. They're hitting us for 4, gaining 8, and having 6 power in the sky with lifelink. I have to chump here. If I attack in and put them to 8, they're just going to gain back up to 12 and hit me with Furnace Host Charger that I can't block with Shieldred without losing Shieldred. We just needed to hit our lands on curve this game. Like, I can't outrace this thing if I'm not going to hit land 5 till like turn 10. This is a really sad loss. I think this matchup... I think both of our losses were really winnable games, and a lot of our wins today too. We've just had really bad mana draws. Like, we have a really consistent mana base. We have exactly even numbers of both colors, and we have a dual land. And we are just getting kind of hosed. Mana-wise. Outside of when we've been drawing our lands, we've been drawing pretty well. Like, we definitely lucked into some really good draws at the end of some games, but they were after hitting really bad mana in the early game. So I guess that like balances it out, but doesn't really feel like I had much of a shot to play this game. That's a good draw. That's a perfect draw to go alongside the Invasion of Amonkhet. I bet they drew it off of the Invasion too. So I can't chump the Charger. They auto-flip Invasion because I don't have any flyers. They get a Gloomfang Mauler. Oh my god. This game's beyond over. I can have my life total, or I can lose Shieldred to not have the True Scriptures. True Scriptures isn't going to save me, though, because they're going to have 3/2/1 flyers with lifelink. They're going to have a 4/4 with Menace. I'll kill their 1/8/5 Menace with True Scriptures and then super die the next turn. I'm going to draw a double white card now. Well, they picked Furnace Gremlin. Interesting. Take 6, go to 6. Sensor just hoses ourselves too much. We gotta play Sentinel instead. But I don't even want to trade into Gremlin, because if they get an Incubator, it's gonna be a lifelinker. So we're just passing now and letting the Broken Sky be broken. I die if I don't double block because they fire breathe me for more than 12 damage. All right. Well, those were some pretty unfortunate games overall. Solid record, being able to go 3-2 during this event. It's not bad, but the way that those games played out was pretty unfortunate. Just really rough mana all around. We'll take another look at the deck. I think 3-2 is not a bad record for this deck, but I think that the ways that we lost were really, really variance-driven, and just pretty unfortunate overall. Just pretty much exclusively losing to really bad mana, when, again, we've got even mana and a duel. We've got 17 lands, like your average, normal, everyday deck. We just missed a lot of land drops. We had double white cards with double black. We had a double black card with... Actually, I don't remember if we had a double black card with double white. But we definitely had double white cards without a second white source in a couple of those games. That was pretty punishing. And yeah, just really... we're not hitting enough lands overall in our losses. Well, sad way to end it, but... cannot control everything in Magic. Your draws are up to chance. Sometimes you're not going to get the mana that you want when you want it. Maybe we could have played an 18th land. It's about all I think we could have really done on our end. Maybe some different mulligans, maybe even more aggressive mulligans, mulliganing down to 5 in some of those games, but overall didn't think that there was much we could do gameplay-wise or deck-building-wise there. I think when we hit our mana, the deck was pretty great. When we didn't, it wasn't. So I don't think there was anything that was a massive flaw in the deck outside of mana issues that we couldn't control really there. So it is what it is. 3-2 for today's event. Not bad at all. 3,000 gems as the prize. Good record for a competitive event like that, and we're only down 1,000 gems if we want to try another play-in, so not a horrible end to the event. Well, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons very much for supporting the channel, as well as you for watching. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to hang out with me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.